Step back three is good. Running start, nice feet ahead, and Kyrie Irving throws it down. Beverly finds George. George steps back, three-pointer. It's good. Paul George from downtown. Irving steps back, three-pointer. In and out, won't go. Oh, and Jordan tips it in. The Brooklyn Nets come into L.A. and beat the Clippers and extend their winning streak to 6 in a row.
How about the Nets, fellas, going 5-0 on their West Coast road trip for those games without KD? Stephen A., did the Nets prove to you that they're the best team in the NBA?
To me, they have. I mean, I'm not ignoring what I'm seeing from the Utah Jazz, but I'm just not a believer in anybody outside of Donovan Mitchell at this particular moment in time, even though I love the defensive presence that both Rudy Gobert and Royce O'Neal has been giving them. Having said all of that, I look at the Los Angeles Lakers, and they were my favorites coming into the season because I assumed that Anthony Davis was healthy. It'd be one thing if he was just nicked and knacked and that was it. This is, that calf injury. We're talking about an Achilles. Stuff sounds too similar to what KD, Kevin Durant, had to endure with him being out. It could be a month, it could be 2 months, it could be 3 months. We just don't know at this particular moment in time, and we certainly don't know if he'll ever be 100%. Here's what I'm willing to tell you. There is not one single team in the NBA that can be less than 100% and beat the Brooklyn Nets. Not one. Nobody. I mean, their offense is just lethal. I'm calling them Lethal Weapon 3, but I got to tell you something. When I look at Kyrie and the level of unselfishness that he is playing with right now in terms of getting other dudes involved and some of the things that some of the baskets he set up for other teammates, I'm looking at the great point guard play of James Harden. I'm fantasizing about what they'll be once KD comes back, assuming he comes back healthy. And if KD comes back healthy, I don't see how anybody can beat them because I don't think their defense is going to be as god-awful as it was earlier this season. And then not only that, I'm watching them get other people involved. TLC, Joe Harris, Jeff Green, and others. I'm watching them get other people involved, and I'm saying to myself, damn. You know what? Joe Harris is still getting some shots. Jeff Green is still getting some shots. TLC is still getting some shots. DeAndre Jordan has been a presence in the middle. We can't ignore it defensively, rebounding as well. I'm just looking at them potentially. And let me not forget Landry Shamet as well, who can shoot the rock. They can go 9 or 10 deep. And I look at it from that standpoint. Bruce Brown, can't forget about him either. I'm just looking at them and I'm saying, excuse me, who the hell's going to beat them? Because guess what? A lethal offense can make you tight once you're on offense because you know you have to be close to perfect because these guys are so unstoppable on the offensive end of the floor themselves. That can make you tight. That can alter and compromise what you're trying to do offensively as a result of it, and then you won't be as effective as you're supposed to be. Now, with the Clippers last night, minutes restriction. Listen, I love Ty Lue. He's a Coach of the Year candidate. I think he's doing a phenomenal job, and I'm very, very happy he got that job. But when he laughed at the reporter because, this incredulous look because the reporter asked him about Paul George being out of the game. Look, man, minutes restrictions or not, you got to make sure Paul George is in the game around money time, particularly the way he was flowing last night. I thought that was a very legitimate question, and there was nothing to dismiss about that. But in the end, it didn't matter. The Brooklyn Nets are the best team in basketball at this particular moment in time. A month from now, 2 months from now, postseason time, we can revisit it. At this moment, the Brooklyn Nets are the best team in the world.
Yeah, I mean, look, if AD's not playing, I can't say the Lakers, right? But I'm assuming AD will play. They're taking precaution. They're going to be extremely careful with AD. And what I've seen from this Lakers team this season, when AD's on the floor, is basically a continuation of last season. They went wire to wire as the best team in the Western Conference. They gentlemen swept the entire Western Conference, 4-1, 4-1, 4, and then they didn't even get extended 7 games in the finals. Now, let's take that team, clearly the best team in basketball, right? Like, listen to those facts. Did they get better or worse in the offseason? They got better. And they're the only team, when AD is healthy, that is absolutely elite on both ends of the floor, offense and defense. Now, we agree about Brooklyn's offense. I keep saying it. If they're not already, they will certainly, clearly, and by far be the best offense of all time by the end of this season. Just want to mention, the best offense, according to efficiency numbers, right, of all time, occurred last season, the Dallas Mavericks, and they were a good team. And Porzingis got hurt in that Clippers series, but they didn't come close to winning a championship. because you also have to play defense. No team in the last 20 years has won a finals with a defense ranked under 11. And the Nets have been playing better defense. Harden's not wrong. He's like, we don't have to be amazing. We just have to be, middle of the pack. He's right about that. But if they are, what I see is a clash of the Titans in the finals, Lakers, Clippers. And by the way, the win against the Clippers, no Paul George at the end of that game. And I know I, more than anyone, have been saying he has to prove it in the playoffs, Paul George. He looks like a man on a mission to me so far to try to prove that in the playoffs. Like, he's heard the criticism and he wants to do something about it. Stephen A., he dropped, 12 points in 5 minutes in the fourth quarter? And one thing you and I definitely agree upon is even if there's a minutes restriction, we don't have to be fanatical about it. If it's a game like that and a dude is hot and you need him for a couple minutes at the end of the game, going over your minutes restrictions by 90 seconds or 2 minutes ain't going to result in an injury, knock wood. It's not, I don't believe that. And I think that would have been the smart thing to do, but they didn't. And so the Nets won a game on a bad call, on an offensive foul that shouldn't have been called on Kawhi Leonard, and without Paul George on the floor. They squeaked by a Clippers squad that also poses its own threats. I'd say the Nets are probably going to come out of the East. I can't say if AD's healthy, they're the best team in the world right now.
Well, I can. The way that they're looking, they've beaten everybody that matters right in front of them. The Utah Jazz have been on a torrid stretch, winning like 19 of the last 20 or 20 of their last 21 games. One of those losses was to the Brooklyn Nets by 34. By 34. They've beaten everybody in their path. Beaten both LA teams, beaten, Golden State, beaten Indiana, beat Boston. Anybody that stands in their way. And the better the team is, the better Brooklyn plays against them. It seems like the teams that have the best shot are the teams that are stinking up the joint because they might play down to the competition feeling they can take a night off or whatever. But they get up, they rise to the occasion. And I just can't say enough about what I'm seeing from Kyrie and James Harden. They've been absolutely sensational. And Kevin Durant is not a subtraction. He's not a minus in any way because this brother could put up 30 on 15 or 16 shots. That's how lethal Kevin Durant is. That's how efficient he is.
The fact that they're doing it without KD is the key because, when AD gets back, the Lakers are different. But my God, when KD gets back, and if he gets back as himself, he's also a defensive force. And this year, even when he hasn't been, he's at least accepted the assignment. Who's the other team's best perimeter player? Fine, I'll guard him. So, yes, I do think if the Nets are healthy, they're going to get out of the East. I believe that, especially the way they've been playing defense recently, although the Sixers will have something to say about it. Lakers, Nets is the finals we all want to see. And I'm not convinced at this moment that the Nets win that series.
All right. Let's get to a team that used to know what it was like to be in the finals every year, and that would be the Warriors. So